Right now at 10, a plane crashes at an airport in Louisville, Kentucky. The latest from officials after this fatal accident.
And protesters gather outside of a DeForest board meeting. We'll tell you why they're looking to stop a data center from being built in the village.
Plus, a new study shows the cost of the Badger football team's losing ways this year, how much researchers say the city could lose. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Officials say at least 3 people are dead and 11 more injured after a UPS cargo plane taking off from the airport in Louisville, Kentucky crashed.
That ignited a large fire on the ground, left a thick plume of smoke over the area. Christian Benavides has the story.
The Federal Aviation Administration says the UPS cargo plane crashed Tuesday evening as it was taking off from Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport.
I can confirm that there was no specifically hazardous cargo on board of the plane that would create an environmental issue for those around the site, but the impact and where it impacted could create those types of situations. So please, if there is a shelter in place, follow it.
Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg spoke about the crash to CBS Louisville affiliate WLKY.
My understanding is that there were about 280,000 gallons of fuel on the plane, and so that is, extreme reason for concern in so many different ways.
The FAA says the plane was a McDonnell Douglas MD-11 bound for Honolulu. The Louisville Metro Police Department said in a social media post that injuries have been reported. On X, Louisville's police department asked people to stay away from the scene. Police issued a shelter-in-place order within 5 miles of the airport. The FAA says it will investigate the crash with the National Transportation Safety Board. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And now to the forecast. It really didn't feel like fall today, Alex. That's not a complaint, though. We're all hoping that mild weather will stick around for at least a little longer.
A little bit longer. We got 3 more days of a little bit longer. 55 on Wednesday, 54 Thursday, 57 Friday, and then the crash. We'll have a weather system, too. That weather system we've been talking about for a few days could bring us rain and also some frozen precipitation. The possibility of snow is distinctly there this weekend, and then we'll slowly climb our way back up to temperatures at or a little bit above normal. Speaking of above normal, just look at these low temperatures tonight. 46 Madison, 49 Janesville, 45 Baraboo, and 47 in Prairie du Chien. These temperatures are closer to our normal high temperatures for this time of year. So unprecedented change, a swing that we're going to see here over the course of the next few days. 55 will be a common number on Wednesday with gusty winds, and then we got to get ready for that weather system. We have one weather system out ahead, Thursday bringing us some showers, but the weather system of significance that is on the mind of the weather community in the Midwest is coming in as we go into Saturday, going on into Sunday. We're going to track that together using one of the latest future track projections and take a peek at where some places could be looking at some snow by Sunday morning. That's coming up.
All right, thank you, Alex. A teenager and a 20-year-old are facing charges for a shooting in Sun Prairie. Police say on October 17th, authorities in Georgia arrested 17-year-old Tredell Morrison and 20-year-old Jeremiah Smith of Madison. They were extradited to Wisconsin and booked into the Dane County Jail. The district attorney charged Morrison and Smith with armed burglary and second-degree recklessly endangering safety. The police department referred more charges against the two, including attempted homicide.
An overnight multi-county police chase ended with one person in custody after shutting down the southbound lanes of the interstate near Milton. Dispatchers say the incident started when Monona police spotted a driver in a stolen car who refused to stop. That led to the chase through Dane County into Rock County. Our cameraman at the scene reported seeing about 20 squad cars with officers out of their vehicles, weapons drawn. According to WSDOT, the interstate was shut down just before midnight and reopened at about 1:15 this morning.
Today's State Superintendent Dr. Jill Underly spoke out for the first time since a Capital Times investigation found out that 200 incidents of educator sexual misconduct or grooming from 2018 to 2023. Underly defended the Department of Public Instruction. She says the department is expanding a database to track revoked or surrendered educator licenses. However, lawmakers are questioning why more wasn't done before the article was published.
I feel like this is just a response to an article, right? Now the public's aware of what's happening, and now suddenly we can reprioritize and make sure we do this.
Underly also released other steps that she hopes to take, including establishing statewide standards, modernizing licensing, and strengthening laws. And Republicans proposed a bill to clearly define grooming in state statute, something Underly says she is in favor of.
Workers at the Mercy Health East Clinic in Janesville will soon return to work after a deal was reached to end that month-long strike there. The members of UAW Local 95 walked off the job way back in early July in a push to improve job security, increase their wages, and boost benefits. Now, the specifics on this new deal have not been released, but union representatives say they were not able to get a desired shift on health insurance premiums.
Another Wisconsin community is at the center of a potential AI data center development.
Residents in DeForest are bringing concerns to their local leaders. Our Maddie Himes brings us to DeForest Village Hall.
DeForest residents filled the village board meeting tonight, many stepping up to the podium with concerns and questions about the idea of a data center in their village.
In every single way, it would be a bad thing for the DeForest community.
Once this farmland is marred, it will never be farmed again.
I know what data centers are about. As a matter of fact, I like them a lot. They're very useful. However, they have no business being here.
But Village Administrator Bill Chang tells me the data center is still just that, an idea.
So we don't know the exact details of what the whole project includes at this point.
QTS data centers approached the village of DeForest about annexing farmland, moving forward with plans for a data center campus in what's currently the township of Vienna. But as village leadership seeks to answer questions from residents about environmental impact, utility rates, and agriculture preservation,
we've heard a number of concerns.
Chang says it'll take time to iron out some of those concerns.
When controversial projects come to the village, there is quick reaction, right? And that's normal. I think people are concerned about what potentially could come. Unfortunately, sometimes governments don't move that fast.
As petitions, plans, and permits are all still pending. QTS plans to submit official zoning applications to the Village of DeForest Board this month. Reporting in DeForest, I'm Maddie Himes, News 3 Now.
Maddie, thank you. The DeForest Village Board also heard public comment tonight about fluoride, considering re-implementing it into village drinking water after that controversial move to remove it earlier this year. Well, we told you yesterday that part of the newly proposed Dane County operating budget would freeze 20 of the existing vacant positions within the sheriff's office. Today, Dane County Sheriff Calvin Barrett told us that he had little to no say in the decision and that it puts his department in a bind.
First, the conversations in regards to the decision to move forward with freezing the 20 positions was very minimal. It was provided to me right before a board meeting over the phone, and really didn't have the time to process exactly what it was and what were the implications of it. At the end of the day, we were faced with two options. One was unsustainable, and the other one provided us with a short-term survivability, and that's where we're moving forward with.
Now, the county supervisors say part of making this decision was the ongoing challenge of recruitment. Sheriff Barrett says he feels that all needs of the county can be met.
Well, a report conducted by two UW-Madison researchers raised concerns that the Badger football team's declining performance could reduce the program's profit.
Our Maren Rosen breaks down what it could mean for both the university and also the city.
The 2025 Badger football season is on track to be one of their worst, if not the worst, season yet.
It's incredibly disappointing. You know, we used to be the model of greatness.
With ticket sales and attendance down, fans are worried about what this could mean for the future.
I've been a Badger fan my whole life. I've had season tickets since I was a little kid. If less people are coming to the game, not only the school's making less money, but less businesses are experiencing people coming through and foot traffic and everything.
A report done by the Center for Research on the Wisconsin Economy raised concerns that if poor performance continues, it could reduce the program's profit by 20%, putting other athletic programs at risk.
It feels like we're showing up later, we're leaving earlier, and I mean, I'm not going to judge anyone that does that because there's no reason why we should stay till the end of the game.
Researchers say the losing streak could shrink economic activity in Madison by $160 million and statewide by $280 million due to lower game attendance, decreased tourism, and fewer merchandise sales. The study also shows there could be a decrease in the quality and quantity of student applications.
Some people come to schools because of the good football, like school and culture and everything.
Despite the research, the Badger football program still remains profitable, and fans remain optimistic.
I don't think that there is one person that doesn't want this team to succeed. There's not one person that's rooting against the athletes here. We're still Wisconsin. We're still the #1 party town in the U.S. We're still going to have a good time.
Maren Rosen reporting. A new study published this morning also shows that even if the Badgers' game performance is down, Camp Randall is ranked #1 among college football stadiums when it comes to beer sales.
Well, as AI evolves, it's becoming more a part of our everyday lives. And the warnings of its impact on the job market is dominating headlines, as you've probably heard. A study by JP Morgan looked at the recent unemployment rate for college grads, and it is currently at a 4-year high of 5.8%. That's in March of 2025. And it's not just white-collar jobs that might be on the chopping block of AI. Those job market concerns are something professors here at UW, the AI Hub, they're looking closely at.
I mean, listen, it's a reality. So there will be jobs displaced by AI. Self-driving trucks launched in Texas 2 months ago. And there's a world where trucks are being driven by AI.
So please tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock for Surviving AI. News 3 Now's Jalen Banks brings us details about AI's growth and impact on the workforce.
Gun deer season fast approaching for the state's hunters. Bow season currently underway, of course, and the gun deer hunt opens Saturday, November 22nd. The DNR says this year's opening date on the later side, meaning there will be a difference in daytime deer activity. For health and safety, DNR specialists stress the importance of chronic wasting disease testing, free and available statewide, and remind hunters to dispose of deer waste responsibly. And officials are also encouraging everyone in prominent hunting areas to wear their blaze orange for visibility.
Up next at 10, we have more on the late former Vice President Dick Cheney and his political career.
And it's election day across the nation. Who came out on top in races that have already been called along the East Coast? Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Once again, a live look. This is Louisville's airport where a UPS plane crashed shortly after takeoff earlier today. Authorities are now saying in an update, at least 7 people are dead. 11 others have been injured. Again, a shelter in place has been issued for all locations within 5 miles of the Louisville airport. In a closely watched election day, New York City voters elected Zohran Mamdani to become its next mayor.
And Virginia elected its first female governor. In New York, Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, faced former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat running as an independent, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. In Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger defeated Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears.
We sent a message to the whole world that in 2025, Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship.
And then in a tight race for New Jersey governor, voters chose Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill over Republican businessman Jack Ciattarelli. Now, California is still sorting ballots, with voters deciding on Proposition 50 that would redraw congressional districts.
Reaction pouring in from around the political world after the death of former Vice President Dick Cheney. His family says he passed away from complications of pneumonia and cardiovascular disease. The flags above the White House were lowered to half-staff in honor of the former vice president. While at the Capitol, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson praised Cheney's lifetime of service.
Scripture is very clear. We give honor where honor is due, and someone who gave their life, loved their country, loved serving their country in so many capacities.
In a statement, former President George W. Bush said he counted on his running mate, quote, for his honest, forthright counsel, and he never failed to give his best. Cheney's career was defined by September 11th and the war on terror, greatly expanding the vice president's role in the White House. Now to our forecast. The last farmers market this weekend, Badger football game, and the Madison Marathon as well this weekend. Alex, can we still expect some unsettled weather? Could be interesting.
It certainly could. The latest Future Track helps tell us the entire story here as we head into Saturday afternoon. By 12:30, a mix of rain and maybe even some wet snow at that point in time. Put it into motion here as we go a little bit further into the afternoon, 3:30 p.m. So that's the Badger game. We'll probably get the farmers market in dry. Badger game, a mix of rain, maybe some wet snowflakes as early as 3:30 in the afternoon, according to this latest projection. And then that snow sweeps across southern Wisconsin, changing over to all snow, I should add, with this latest projection here. Strong north winds, 10 o'clock at night, with that best chance for snow shower activities stretching from the Dells to Madison down towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. But the track is key with any weather system that brings snow as to where that that snow band is going to set up. So we're keeping a very close eye on that. 7 o'clock in the morning, the marathon runners, still some flurry activity, strong northwest winds, ushering in cold temperatures from the north and from the west, and maybe even a few snow showers yet again Sunday afternoon with that cold air in place with temperatures struggling to get out of the 30s. That Badger football forecast starting off in the lower 40s will do 43. That's about as warm as we're going to get. And then the temperatures are going to start to go down as that weather system makes its way into the area with that light rain mixing with and then potentially changing over completely to all snow. Morning snow showers, a distinct possibility. Even if we don't get the snow shower activity, and if it were to go maybe further south or further to the north, we're still going to have cold temperatures, 28 at 7 a.m., 31 at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday, and 34, chilly 34 at noon on Sunday. This weather system is a very Clipper-like system. That's the yellow track here. Our system this weekend is this green track going through northern Illinois. But again, if it shifts a little bit to the south, that takes the snow to the south. If that track comes a little bit further to the north, it pushes the snow track further to the north. So the First Warn Weather Team will be keeping a very close tab on the track of this weather system, as it's always key for where those accumulations will stack up here. Minor accumulation, grassy surfaces, looking at maybe a trace to an inch at this point in time. It's going to melt quickly too because the ground is warm, the pavement is warm, and we'll keep again a very close tab on that track. Temperatures tonight, 40s to right around 50 degrees for a low temperature. That's our normal high for this time of year. Those temperatures as we go into Wednesday will be in the mid-50s to right around 60 down towards Janesville. Gusty winds upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. So a gusty day on Wednesday, a gusty day on Thursday, gusty day on Friday as well. And then we've got our activities as we head here towards the weekend. Let's take it full screen here. We also have the Packers game coming up as we head towards Monday. Packers game is going to be a chilly one too, but no precipitation is expected at this point in time in Lambeau Field at 7:15 p.m. on Monday night. But chilly temperatures nonetheless. Doesn't matter which activity you're going to, you're going to need to bundle up all weekend.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
It's coming.
Exactly.
We knew it.
Hockey players don't really need to bundle up, but the Badger team, boy, the men are off to a hot beginning.
They really are. It's something that we haven't seen in quite some time. In fact, 40 years. That's how long it's been since the Badger men have been off to this good of a start, but they await a big test. We'll tell you about it next on News 3 Now. Through 7 games, the Bucks were 1-6 last season. In 2025, Doc Rivers has calmed the waters. The Deer are 5-2, hoping to keep the hot start full steam ahead in Toronto. Miles Turner, fresh off getting revenge against his old team, backs it up north. Money from the mid-range. He'd finish with 10, but in the end, the Raptors would ravage the Deer. Scotty Barnes, 3 points the old-fashioned way, and Milwaukee can't get it done on the second of the back-to-back, losing 128-100. Wisconsin women's basketball enters a new era tomorrow night when Robin Pingeton starts her new era. Pingeton described Wisconsin as a sleeping giant, a struggling program with immense potential. An idea their star player, Ronnie Porter, believed so much that she took her name out of the transfer portal and came back to Madison.
Again, sleeping giant. We have a lot of weapons this year, and we're going to wake a lot of people up. We're going to get a lot of people in the seats, and it's a new year. I mean, obviously, we weren't the best winning team previously, but this year, again, clean slate, a lot of new people, a lot of new buckets, new coaching staff. Everything's just new, and we're waking up a lot of people in the country, not just the state of Wisconsin, but the country.
Mike Hastings means business. Wisconsin men's hockey is off to their best start in more than 40 years, but in the Big Ten, the going is only going to get tougher from here. The 10th-ranked Badgers traveled to a hostile barn this weekend, mixing it up with the 10th-ranked Wolverines of Michigan, who can score with the best of them. Not that Mike Hastings cares.
I think we're top 10 in the country in scoring too. So I mean, to me, it's your overall game. If they get to 5 or 7, there's going to be a steep climb in that building. But I'm assuming it's going to be full with Wolverine fans, and so we're going to have to go in and earn everything we get. They're not going to give it to you.
Mimi Collier never planned on transferring away from Oregon, but when her head coach took a new job before her senior year, she entered the transfer portal. Kelly Sheffield reached out right away, trying to lure the National Player of the Year candidate to Madison. And the first thing that popped into Mimi's mind was that unmatched atmosphere at the Fieldhouse. You all know about it, and she wanted to be a part of it. 3 days later, she was a Badger and is also this week's guest on the Wisconsin Huddle.
It's been so fun. I gained 15 new best friends. We are all so close. We hang with each other all the time. I've never had so much fun with a group of girls than I have with these girls. And I think we're hitting our peak at the right time. I think we're gelling right now. And I think we're really just going to, we're continuing to get better every single week. And by the time December rolls around, I think we're going to be the best that we're going to be.
Well, it didn't feel like December outside today. If that'll stay, next on News 3 Now.
What you doing tonight?
That is a very, very good question.
That's what I do, baby.
I know, you're good at it.
How about an all-new Colbert with Michelle Obama? CBS Tonight.
And finally tonight, People magazine has named actor Jonathan Bailey the sexiest man alive. The Wicked and Bridgerton star is likely the first publicly out gay person to receive the award as well.
Bailey told Jimmy Fallon, quote, "It's the honor of a lifetime. This is the 40th edition of People's Sexiest Man Alive, the first honor given to Mel Gibson way back in 1985. There is no segue that I can go to turn to Alex Harrington. Alex Harrington joins us now.
Into the weather.
So what's the weather looking
forecast?
The forecast is looking mild the next couple days. Get ready for breezy conditions. And then this upcoming weekend, we got the Badger game, we've got the Farmers Market, we've got the Madison Marathon on Sunday, then we have the Packers game on Monday. All of these events, get ready to bundle up all of them. We are going to keep a very close tab on the potential for some accumulating snow for parts of southern Wisconsin as we go into Saturday night, going on into Sunday. But that track is key. The First Warn Weather Team are keeping a very close tab on where that track is going to set up. As with any weather system that can bring us the potential for some snow, if it tracks a little bit further too far to the south, it takes the snow to the south. If it tracks a little further to the north, we'll be a little bit warmer and we'll get a little bit more on the side of rain. So track is key.
It'll be wet either way then.
Either way, chilly and bundle up.
Okay, fine.
Is that good or bad for running? You're a runner, right? For that marathon?
It
Not
is
great.
what it is.
36 wet.
It'll be all right, yep.
Colbert's coming your way next.
Thanks for watching, everyone.